Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. I thought I would just walk you through how the system works, and that will give you a better idea of how to fix faults on your own. Basically, this is what's called a nano beam. This is on the side of your house or on a downpipe somewhere. Basically, all they have to do is face the main mast, or if you're at relay point, you'll have to face the relay point. There's only three in Elgol. There's one at Scott's, one at Gavin Mitchell's, and one down at the pier. So if you're on the pier, you have to point your units down towards basically the harbour master's hut. There is a little level on the back of this. If for any reason it's not running as well as it should do, these are the basic checks you should do. You've got a level here, just make sure that is level. You also have lights on the side here, so there should be 6 lights in total. One's for the power, so that'll always be on. The next one is for information going back and forward, and the next 4 are for the signal strength. So if you have anything below 3, we really need to basically get a better signal. Everyone has had 4 when we installed them, so they shouldn't really be down. But if there are, that obviously is an issue. Sometimes if a tree, maybe next year a tree grows a bit bigger and goes in line of sight, it blocks the line of sight, you need to maybe go and trim the tree or move the unit to somewhere else. But that's the nano beam. Normally they're just cable tied on there. You also have a router, which is what this is. What's here? This is a router here. So what normally happens for the router is this unit goes outside, a black cable which we put in goes from the unit into a power supply, which you have here. This is the power supply. The unit outside goes into the PoE one, just in case you ever take these things out. It's the PoE one, goes to the outside unit. The one that goes to the router is the LAN. So you plug the one on the LAN and it goes into the back of the router. Normally these routers will have 5 ports in the back, so you've got 4 yellow ones and 1 blue one. They always go into the WAN port. Don't put them into the 1, 2, 3 or 4. Those are basically outputs and the blue one is an input. And basically that will get you up and running. On the front here, it's hard to see the sunlight, there is a bunch of lights here. The main one you need to have on is the wireless one, and the internet one. Internet one is like a circle with it's like Saturn with the rings all off. If that goes red or orange, then it means your internet's not working. And that's generally a fault from outside. So that is your router. So if your internet goes off, the first thing to do is really to disconnect the power supply unit. Now this holds its power for quite a while, so you have to keep it off for maybe 30 seconds. So you just unplug it, you'll see there's a little light on the front there and it's still on. If you give that maybe 20 to 30 seconds, that'll eventually die out and it stops the power to the unit. And that should be enough. Just then plug it back in, give it about 2 or 3 minutes and it should come back on. If a reset doesn't work on the unit, the best thing to do is, this will be plugged into the power supply unit, is to disconnect the router, that little cable there. Now these can be yellow or black or whatever, it doesn't matter. And what to do is plug that straight into your laptop if you have one, into the Ethernet port. It should work within 5 or 6 seconds, and if that does work, it means it's this that it's fault and not the actual Hebnet system. If it still doesn't work, then there is a fault and you need to call Jenny on the number provided. Now if this does work and it's an issue with this unit here, basically just disconnect the power, leave it for 20 or 30 seconds and plug it back in again, and hopefully it comes up and works. If not, then it is it's its fault. Now if you have a BT router, one of these lovely devices, ideally you should have one of these ones, but if not, for some reason the WAN, the red one on these, do not work. This is typical of BT, but what you have to do, if you've got a BT router, it'll be in one of the yellow ports. It does sometimes continually flash red in the front, and that basically normally means there's no internet, but in this case there is. If you see lots of like dropouts from the internet, it's because these things are a waste of space. So pick up one of these for £18 on Amazon. I'll put the link, in fact, tell you what, I'll put the link up one of the sides there. At peak times, there is no way to smooth out the connection to everyone's houses, so sometimes it will go slow. Normally between 5 and 8 at night is quite slow, and during the day it's pretty fast. But if you start seeing a a drop all day, every day, then obviously there's something wrong. So that's when to basically give us a shout. You generally shouldn't see, I don't think I've ever seen anything below 1 meg ever. So if it does go below that before more than say 4 or 5 hours, then there's something wrong and you need to contact Jenny. So rule number 1, don't call Mark. Rule number 2, call Jenny on the number provided and basically leave your name, your telephone number and a clear message, exactly what you've done to check, and then Jenny will get back to you.